Dear students, we are continuing our discussion on Module 6. This is the third video lecture. In this video lecture, we are mainly focusing on statistical process control, statistical quality control, and then control charts. This is the syllabus part. As we know, we already covered quality control and inspection in the first video lecture. In the second video lecture, we have discussed destructive and non-destructive testing methods in detail. In this video lecture, we are moving to statistical quality control and different control charts. Before we are discussing what is statistical quality control and different types of control charts, a term we have to know is process capability. Process capability means ability to do a particular work without producing least defects. As we know that if you are going to do a purchase or something, if consider in the case of a pen, there is a chance of many defects. Either defect can be in terms of cap, or maybe in terms of refill, or in terms of maybe the sticker, whatever it may be. Whatever the defects, all these are defects on cap, defects on body, defects on sticker. All these are called defects. If any of the defects are there in a particular product, that products are called defective. Okay, in a defective part, there can be one defect or more than one defect. Okay, so process capability means ability to do particular work without producing least defects. Basically, it measures the goodness of a process by comparing the voice of the customer. Usually, process capability analysis help to determine ability to manufacture parts within the tolerance limit. Usually, if you are going to produce a part, usually we will give a tolerance for having a defect, maybe a in a range. That range usually we call LCL and UCL. We will discuss the lower specific limit and upper specific limit in detail. Usually we need to have the products with least defective in this tolerance limit. That is usually called process capability. For ensuring quality control, in the initial video itself we are discussing about the quality control. For ensuring quality control, we need some mathematical modeling. We need some proper systematic methods to ensure quality. So usually in many of the industries are using statistics based quality control techniques for ensuring quality. So a quality control system performs inspection, testing and analysis to ensure the quality of products produced as per quality standards. When it's called statistical quality control, employed to control, actually we are using statistical techniques. We are using mathematical statistical techniques to ensure quality by and improve the quality in a proper systematic manner. How we will ensure we are doing a statistical quality control? Usually we will do three activities. The first thing is systematic collection of the accurate data. Then we will analyze the data using some methods. Then we will take some action. So we need to record, we will analyze and then action. So there are many benefits are there by using a proper statistical control techniques. Of course, the SQC, statistical quality control techniques, will increase the efficiency of the total production system. It will reduce the scrap by knowing or by analyzing the total effectiveness of the product in a proper way. SQC will ensure the proper quality, as we know, easier detection of faults. By using SQC, statistical quality control techniques, we can measure the actual defect, the actual scenario of the industry by the easy detection of faults. Increase the output rate, better customer satisfaction, high productivity are some of the benefits of SQC. So there are many techniques are there in SQC, statistical quality control. One of the most commonly used technique in SQC is use of control charts. By using control charts, we can visualize, we can graphically represent the information we are collecting. Information about the quality characteristics or about the product we can take by by using some methods, and we will plot it in a systematic manner. So basically, through the control chart, we can detect the variation in process or warn if there are any departure from specific tolerance limit. While you are producing a part, you will give a tolerance limit. If by plotting it in a control charts only, we can analyze that if we are within the tolerance limit or we are outside the tolerance limit. So control charts is a device, a technique to increase or to increase the total quality of the product through a proper systematic graphical representation. Usually control charts are classified into two. Usually control charts classified into two: variable charts and attribute charts. Usually control charts be classified into two: variable charts as well as attribute charts. We will discuss what is a variable chart and what is a attribute charts. Variable charts will be usually used, the most commonly used variable charts are R chart and X bar chart. R chart means range chart and X bar chart is mean chart. And most commonly used attribute charts are P chart and C chart. Okay, for subject point of view, we will discuss here more about R chart and X bar chart, because that is the most commonly used and most accurate one. So what is control chart? We already said control chart is the variable charts are graphical representation. So generally two control charts are there, as we said, control chart for variables as well as control chart for attributes. So what is control chart for variables? Are useful for controlling fully automated process, usually where the operator is responsible for 3 or 4 mission. Usually control charts for attributes are there for using for giving a idea that how much a defective charts or the we will discuss the control charts for variable first, then we will get a clarity about the both. So usually control charts for variables are the graphical representation of any of the variables. Consider if you are going to produce a part, usually in control chart of variable we will represent one of the variable of that part. Like maybe we will measure if the most critical variable of that product is length, then we will measure the length. Okay, usually we will measure the length. Consider if the product having a 15 centimeter, that will be the actual length. We will take samples, maybe a 10 or 15 samples from one lot. Maybe consider 10 samples from one lot. We will measure, we will get a first reading 15 centimeter, then we will 15.1, 14.9, like that we will measure the all lengths, and then we will try to plot in a systematic manner. That will be the control chart for variables. So here we will have deal with the direct the variable or attribute we are measuring. Okay, either length or a weight or a height or a density, pressure, whatever which of the variables we are attribute we are measuring, that we are plotting in control chart for variables. The most commonly used control chart variables are X bar chart and R chart. There's also sigma chart is also there, and standard deviation chart is also there. Most commonly used the X bar, mean chart and range chart. In the case of X charts are the as we saw, X chart means the mean chart. It shows the centering of the process. Actually, through the X chart we can get that how much the products are keeping to the center, or how much the average, how the mean are varying. In the case of R chart, range chart is usually give the consistency of the process. Usually the range we are measuring from the maximum diameter minus minimum diameter, maximum length minus minimum length. We will measure the how much it varies. Okay, and sigma chart is also usually giving variation. This about control chart for variables. What about the control chart for attributes? Usually control chart for attributes are used for measuring some attributes. Like if we are measuring, if we are testing 10 parts, and you found that 2 parts are defective, 8 parts are non-defective. So we got that 2 parts are defective. So we will plot it that out of 10, 2 parts are defective. In next plot we will get that out of 10, 5 parts are defective. So here we are not measuring why it's defective. Here we are measuring, not, here we are not considering because of length or weight or whatever, the because of which attribute is defective or not. Only we will get the summary, how much parts are defective, how much parts are non-defective. Like that, here we are plotting the attribute value only. That charts are usually called control charts for attributes. So if you want a comparison for control charts for variables as well as control charts for attributes, commonly used control charts for variables are X chart and R chart. Examples are for attribute charts are C chart or P chart. So measure type of data required, variable data, as I said, like length, height, diameter, etc. For attribute chart, attribute like go, no go, defective or non-defective, like attribute data. A field of application, control for individual characteristics is the field of application of variable chart. For attribute chart, for controlling the proper defective or not. So this will be the comparison for variable chart as well as attribute chart. So in this, as a subject point of view, here we will discuss how we will construct a variable chart. Okay, here we are trying to narrate the steps for constructing variable charts like X chart and X bar chart, sigma chart and range chart. So the first step, sample of items are collected in random and the quality characteristics like such as diameter and length. We will take some samples from a lot and we will measure some characteristics like length or diameter. Consider we are measuring the diameter. Then we will second step we will calculate the mean value and range. For example, if we are collected 5 items, if the sample number is 5, then and by measuring the diameter of 5 samples, we will get a diameter of D1, D2, D3, D4 and D5. Then X bar will be, as we know, mean D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4 by D5 divided by 5, and range is the maximum diameter minus minimum diameter, like which is the maximum diameter. Consider if you while you are measuring 5, D1 is equal to 15, D2 equal to 15.2, D3 equal to 14.8, D4 equal to 15.5 and D5 equal to 14.5. So the maximum will be 15.5 and minimum will be 14.5. So 15.5 minus 14.5, 1 equal to range. Like that we will measure the range. Third step, we will find the average of average and average of range. Actually here maybe we have collected samples from one lot. Like that, if your 10 lots are there, then we will find X double bar, average of sample average. X double bar equal to X bar divided by number of samples, like this. Sigma X bar divided by number of samples, like that. X double bar will be equal to sum of X bar divided by number of samples. If number of samples is 10, 10. R bar equal to sigma R divided by number of samples. Like that we will measure X double bar and R bar. That's the third step. Fourth step, we will try to note the UCL, upper control limit and lower control limit for X bar and R bar. UCL for X bar equal to X bar chart equal to X double bar plus A to R bar. LCL equal to X double bar minus A to R bar. For R chart, UCL equal to D4 into R bar, LCL equal to D3 into R bar. You have to by heart this equation. Equation for UCL and UCL for X bar chart and R chart. So what is A2, D3 and D4? A2, D3 and D4 are the values we will get, factor values we will get from the normal distribution table. So for exam normal distribution table, this table values you need not by heart. We will provide a paper. We will give you a paper for exam with the table values of A2, D3 and D4. So if a question comes in terms of control chart, by using the table you will get the values of A2, D3 and D4. Then we will plot. So step X bar chart we will plot. How we'll plot? X-axis average value, X and Y-axis. X-axis the number of samples and Y-axis the average values. For R chart, sample numbers are plotted in X-axis and range values are plotted in Y-axis. For X bar chart, sample values are X-axis and average values are in Y-axis. That's a 6th step. So by using these six steps, we can measure, we can draw X bar chart and R chart. This is a normal distribution table from the sample number. Here n is a sample number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For sample number corresponding A2, D3 and D4 you will get. Okay, like for sample number 5, A2 equal to 0.58, D3 equal to 0 and D4 equal to 2.11. You can apply that values into for measuring UCL LCL for X bar chart and UCL LCL for R chart. Okay, so we will do two examples for better clarification. First example, following table has a list of sample average and range for 10 numbers of sample taken. Here X bar and R are given. In some cases problems we need to calculate X bar and R. In this problem X bar and R are given. For here the X bar is calculated for the sample size 5. As a sample size 5, X bar is the mean of 5 values, maybe D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, like that. X bar, in first lot X bar equal to 7. That 7 is the value we got equal to D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4 by D5 divided by 5, like that. X bar the value is given and also the range is given. So it's very simple. The X bar and R are already given. Hope you have noted the data. So as we know that we need to find the UCL and LCL, that's the first step. From the table you can get for the sample size 5. For the sample size 5 we will get the values of A2 as 0.58, D3 as 0, D4 as 2.1. Just listen. Actually the 5 is a sample size, not the number of samples. Sample size 5. 5 A2 equal to 0.58, D3 equal to 0 and D4 equal to 2.11. So for this problem, sample size 5, A2 equal to just see the value. Sample size, actually we are not considering the sample number. Just listen, we are not considering the sample number 10. We are considering the sample size 5. Sample size 5, A2 equal to 0.58, D3 equal to 0 and D4 equal to 2.11. Then here the X bar value and R value is given, so we only need to consider X double bar and R bar. For measuring X double bar we need sigma X bar. For sigma X bar we will calculate 7 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus, like that. We will get the sigma X bar equal to 76. And for measuring R bar we need sigma R. For that we will measure the sigma R, that is 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2, like that. Sigma R equal to 2.26. Then we will measure for X chart. X double bar equal to sigma X bar divided by 10, that equal to 76 divided by 10, that is equal to 7.6. Okay, then we will find the UCL and LCL for X bar chart. Equation for UCL is equal to X double bar plus A2 R bar, that equal to 7.6 into A2 equal to 0.58 into 2.6. 2.6 we got from R bar value. I will show you how we will calculate the R bar. LCL similarly we will measure the equation. We will get the UCL as 9.11, LCL as 6.09. Similarly for R chart, D4 into R bar. How you got the value R bar? R bar equal to sigma r divided by number of n, that is equal to 26 divided by 10, that is equal to 2.6. So we will get the UCL LCL for X bar chart and R chart. Now we will draw it. So we will draw the X bar and R in equation, in graph. For the first sample, look into the X bar chart, the first chart. Sample number 1, X bar equal to 7. Locate the point 7. For sample number 2, X bar equal to again 7. Like that you will draw the all X bar. Okay, and draw the UCL line. UCL equal to 9.91 and mean equal to 7.6, that is equal to X sigma mean equal to mean of all this, and LCL equal to 6.09. So we will find that for how many actually the tolerance limit is between UCL and LCL. From the X bar chart you can find that for many samples it is either outside UCL or below LCL. That shows the variation. Actually you need the value in between the UCL and LCL, but in real case its many values are outside UCL and below LCL. That values are out of tolerance limit, so this is not showing the quality value. Similarly, you are drawing the R chart. You will plot the R values and you will plot the UCL and LCL. For R values, all values are in between UCL and LCL. So from the R chart we can have inference that all are in the limit. It is other between UCL and LCL. But in the case of a X bar chart, it's outside UCL and LCL. Like that you can construct X bar chart and R chart. Hope it's clear. We will consider one more example. Here in the earlier case, actually the X bar chart and X bar and R values are given, but in this case here the only observations are given. For sample 15 we have the different observations, so we will have to start from the first step itself. What is the first step? We need to measure the X bar and R. For the sample 1, average means X bar, range equal to R. Like that we need to measure X bar for 15 samples, R for 15 samples. That is average means X bar, range means R. And then we will find the average. Average means X double bar equal to 10.728 and R bar equal to 0.22. Okay. Then we will find the UCL and LCL from the table. Actually here also we have 5 samples, not the sample size equal to 5, so not the sample number, sample size equal to 5. So similarly we will get the values of UCL and LCL and we will plot the X chart and R chart. From the figure itself it shows that all values are in between the UCL and LCL for X. Like that you can construct X bar chart and R chart. In this lecture we are discussed about the control charts in detail. Hope it's very clear for you. This is video lecture part 3. In next video lecture we will continue our discussion on module 6. Thank you.